Rain lashed against the windows of my office, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. A crumpled note lay on my desk: "Don't waste your time, don't compare yourself to anyone." Cryptic, even for a detective. But this wasn't just any note. It was left beside the body of renowned astrophysicist, Dr. Alistair Finch, found dead in his observatory last night. Cause of death: accidental fall. The police bought it. I didn't. Finch was meticulous, a man who measured every step, both literally and figuratively. He wouldn't just fall. "My name is Leo Maxwell, and I specialize in the cases the police can't, or won't, solve." Finch's death felt wrong. The note felt wrong. Everything about this case screamed something more. I picked up the note, the cheap printer paper surprisingly thick. A watermark, barely visible, shimmered beneath the light, a stylized hourglass. "Time waits for no one," the motto of the exclusive Chronos Society, a group of academics and industrialists obsessed with time, its manipulation, and its perceived scarcity. Finch was a member. My gut clenched. This was bigger than a simple fall. I visited the observatory, the air thick with the metallic scent of blood, now cleaned. Dust motes danced in the single shaft of sunlight piercing the gloom. Finch's telescope, a behemoth of polished brass and glass, pointed towards the heavens. I examined the area around the telescope. Nothing seemed out of place. Then I noticed a faint scratch on the polished floor, almost hidden by the rug. It was too deliberate to be accidental. Someone had moved the telescope. I checked Finch's research. He was working on a radical new theory about time dilation, something that could revolutionize space travel. Or weaponize time itself. The Chronos Society's interest suddenly made sense. They wouldn't want his research getting out. Had they silenced him, my investigation took me into the opulent world of the Chronos Society. Meetings held in secret, whispered conversations about manipulating time for the betterment of humanity. Their leader, the enigmatic Elias Thorne, exuded an aura of power and control. He denied any involvement in Finch's death, his voice smooth as silk. But I saw a flicker of something in his eyes, a hint of fear, perhaps. I delved deeper, uncovering a web of rivalries and betrayals within the society. Finch wasn't the only one working on time dilation. Dr. Evelyn Reed, a brilliant but overlooked physicist, was also on the verge of a breakthrough. Could she have killed Finch to steal his research? She was certainly ambitious enough. I confronted Reed, but she vehemently denied any involvement. She was frustrated, yes, resentful of Finch's recognition, but not a murderer. She showed me her own research, a different approach to time dilation, more theoretical, less practical than Finch's. It was clear she was telling the truth. The pressure was mounting. Thorne and the Chronos Society were growing suspicious of my inquiries. I received veiled threats, warnings to back off. But I was too close. I knew Finch's death was connected to his research, to the society, to the obsession with time. Then, I found it. A hidden compartment in Finch's desk, containing a small, intricately crafted clock. It wasn't just a clock. It was a key to a hidden room beneath the observatory. I slipped inside, the air cold and damp. In the center of the room, a massive machine hummed with barely contained power. It was Finch's time dilation device, far more advanced than anything I had imagined, but I wasn't alone. Thorne emerged from the shadows, his face contorted with rage. He confessed to killing Finch, not to steal his research, but to protect it. Finch had discovered something dangerous, something that could unravel the fabric of time itself. Thorne believed he was saving humanity from its own hubris. He lunged at me, but I was ready. A struggle ensued, the room filled with the crackling energy of the time machine. I managed to overpower him, but in the process, the machine was damaged, its energy spiraling out of control. The room began to shake, the very air shimmering. And then, the twist. As the room threatened to collapse, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was Finch. Alive. He explained that he had faked his death, knowing Thorne would try to stop him. The fall was staged, the note a distraction. He had used his own research to manipulate time, to create a temporal loop, giving him the time he needed to complete his work. The real killer? His own ambition, his obsession with being the first. The greatest. He had sacrificed his life, or rather, the perception of his life, to achieve his goal. He had, in a twisted way, taken the note's advice to heart. He stopped comparing himself to others, stopped caring about their opinions, and focused solely on his own goals, however extreme they might be. He hadn't wasted his time. He had manipulated it. The police arrived, Thorne was arrested, and Finch vanished into the time stream, leaving me with a profound sense of unease. He had won, in a way, but at what cost? He had proven that time, like ambition, can be a cruel mistress. And that sometimes, the greatest danger lies not in comparing yourself to others, but in comparing yourself to your own potential. And letting that comparison consume you. The rain had stopped, and a sliver of moon peeked through the clouds. I left the observatory, the weight of Finch's choices heavy on my soul. The case was closed, but the questions it raised would linger long after the storm had passed.